Have you ever said to yourself, it always happens to me, and then turn around and sure enough it happens? That happens to me all the time. I think one thing, and then the next thing you know, it happens. So, we need to think positive thoughts instead of negative ones. If we think positive thoughts, then positive things will happen. But if we think negative thoughts, then negative things will happen. I think everyone should think positive because our thoughts turn into our reality. When you think positive and keep a positive perspective on life, you have higher self-esteem and your motivation to succeed increases. We have to remember that external environments reflect our internal environments. So everything that's going on inside, you can tell on the outside. To clarify, David J. Schwartz's book, The Magic of Thinking Big, says, build castles, don't dig graves. Basically what it's saying is you shouldn't sabotage your dreams before you even try. For example, if you want to buy a house, then you shouldn't say, oh, but I can't afford a house. You should say, I want to buy a house and I'm going to buy a house. When you do this, it'll give yourself higher self-esteem and you'll get more motivation. When you have more motivation, you'll make decisions that bring you to that goal. So when you're motivated, you're going to make the right choices to get the house. You'll finish school, you'll find a good paying job, and you'll be more likely to save money than if you think, oh, I can't afford it. Then you're never going to afford it. And that's really important. That's why you should always keep a positive perspective. Now, also, Dale Carnegie says in his book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, our life is what our thoughts make it. And that brings me to my next point, the law of attraction. I learned about the law of attraction from a movie called The Secret. And basically, the law of attraction says, basically whatever you focus on is what's going to happen in your life. So if you're always thinking, oh, this bad thing's going to happen to me, this isn't going to work out, then that's what's going to happen, and you're going to constantly attract bad things. So if you keep a positive perspective in your life, then positive outcomes will come about that. Many people think that the law of attraction means whatever you think will come into your life. And in some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. Let's take that house, for example. You say, I want a house. That doesn't mean a house is just going to fall in your lap. You have to still work for the house and do the right choices to get to the house, unless you play the lottery. But the law of attraction means you focus on the right energies and then you'll get the steps that you need to succeed and get to your goals a little bit easier. Because if you're always thinking about the negative things, you're going to take the wrong path and it's going to lead you to the wrong goals. In Caroline Myss's book, Anatomy of the Spirit, she says, what drains your spirit drains your body, and what fuels your spirit fuels your body. So if you're always thinking negative thoughts, then your body is going to feel always run down and things are always happening and you can never catch a break. But we have to remember that there are going to be negative things, but we can always learn from those negative things and take from those negative things and make it into a positive thing in our life. So if we learn that maybe we can't afford the house right now, but if we take this step in order to save money, and then eventually we'll be able to afford the house and you'll be living in the house. So you have to always keep a positive perspective and learn why things are happening to you and what you can do to make those things become what you actually want. Internally, We may feel like, oh, I'm thinking positive, but think negative things are still happening to me. That's when we need to stop and really think about what we're thinking inside, and dig deep down and like kind of meditate, because sometimes we say, oh, I'm thinking positive, but deep down we're not. So you need to always really think about that and meditate and know that positive things are going to happen, but you have to stay positive. So to clarify everything that I've talked about is, when you stay positive, your self-esteem gets a boost, which gives you the motivation to go after your goals, which gets you to your things that you want in your life. And then also, you have to remember that everything internally is reflected externally. So if you're just down and down and down internally, then everything externally is just going to be down and down and down. So always keep everything internal positive, and then your external is going to be positive too. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but it is achievable. So I urge everyone to keep a positive perspective on life. And you have to remember that your energy radiates, and you can have negative energy and you can have positive energy. Which one do you want in your life? Thank you.